Welcome to Rima Power, coming to you from the Powerhouse Ministries International, Accra, Ghana. You are about to hear a life-changing message from our senior pastor, Reverend Bernard Arde-Acquah. Today's teaching will offer you very practical solutions to life's daily challenges, whilst empowering you from the Word of God to rise above any challenges and difficulties.
They resound with God's own heart. Oh, let the ancient words impart.
And motherhood is the highest office that any female can stand in. If you have a female leader, you have a female president, you have a female Supreme Court judge who doesn't understand motherhood, and she begins to use her influence wrongly, we're in serious trouble. We're in serious trouble. What is motherhood all about? Motherhood is about sacrifice. It's a life of sharing. Every mother, genuine mother, will tell you something. They inconvenience themselves to share. They hold back from themselves to give to what they produce. They will never let go even when they are in pain. That's the beauty of a mother. A mother is somebody, you find out that mothers will sacrifice. They will go an extra mile. They will go through things just to be able to give to the one or what they have produced or what they own. So if you are a young girl growing up and you are a very selfish person, you don't share, you're always thinking about yourself, you don't want to give to other people, you don't want to inconvenience yourself, you are just thinking about me and myself and what I get, you find out that even when you have children, that character will not be there. Something seems to have changed in our country today, where a lot more people are thinking of themselves, and a lot of young girls are thinking of themselves, what they will get, what they will gain, and not about what they will give to the next generation, and not about the sacrifices they will make to the next set of people they produce. A true mother will not hesitate to sacrifice, will not hesitate to share her life. You know, today my mother is 80, 83 or 84. I'm 50 years old. In fact, I'll be 51. It means that my mother had me when I was 32 years, when she was 32 years old. At 32 years, many women today are in the prime of their career. And we're 7. So think about it carefully. She started having children around 20 years. From 20 to 35, she was having children. She gave up on her personal ambitions. She gave up on her educational career. She gave up on traveling abroad. She gave up on being transferred. She gave up on a lot of things so that she could raise people like us. There were times I would always come home and there'll be nobody at home, but my mother will be home. And I'll come home and there'll be good food at home. I'll come home and when the boys around are trying to, destroy me and beat me up and things, my mother will stand and say, hey, because there's somebody at home. Today, all of us have sent our mothers by some reason out of the home. And those who are left at home to take care of the children, is as if they are useless. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. Listen, a mother's contribution to a national development is not in money. So if you have a wife who can sacrifice her life to be a mother, you value her. You appreciate her. You celebrate her. You love her more. You don't call her uneducated and illiterate and go for a mistress. You sacrifice also to love her. So the Bible says that husbands, love your wives. Because what it takes is more than how much. You see, today Ghana is producing 4 times more than we were producing a few years ago. But our children are going wayward. Our children are on drugs. Our children are prostitution. Our children are all over the streets because there's nobody at home who would even teach you hygiene, who will teach you to lay your bed, who will teach you to cut your nails, who teach you to wash your clothes. Because we have despised the influence of motherhood. You may bring home 5,000 Ghana cedis a month, but is that the price you pay for your children going wayward? So we've got to look at this whole thing of motherhood again. As we celebrate, I want to salute the mothers who have stayed at home. They've lost their shape. Their bobbies have become bobby loose. Their stomachs have become big. They are just walking up and down. Sometimes they don't even have a piece of cloth. But they have stayed at home and sold things by the roadside and thrown away things so that you and I will have life. I salute them. You know, my mother didn't go to school. Look, my mother, what's her highest qualification? Not even O level. Those days they call it standard 4. But today when I look back, I went to visit her last week and I said, Ma, I salute you. I held her hands and I said, thank you. Today, because of a profession, you have a child you want to abort. Thank God she didn't abort me. Thank God she didn't just give me over to somebody else to look after me and went a chasing something else. Thank God I sucked on those breasts that have become long and big and worn out. Thank God for my mother. I remember when I was in school, and sometimes there was money at home, she would go next door and borrow money. She didn't go to school, but I went to school because I had a mother. You see, some of you, sometimes your perspective of a mother is somebody who is high class, driving a certain car, who travels abroad. There's nothing wrong with those things. But I'm saying that look deeper. Look deeper. It's a life of sacrifice. And when you're going to stand in that office, you are going to stand in an office where you will sacrifice. You have compassion on the next generation. There's no way a mother will see a child and not have compassion on the child. And so when our women get into parliament and they forget the vulnerable, it's amazing. We can have a lot of women in government, but they are no longer mothers. How can we have a policy where rice is served to our children in school and the rice is spoiled rice? How? And there are women who cook these things. How can you be a mother when you cook with food that is spoiled and you know it because it's not your child? Libra sukiyanda. Because it's not your child, you can give your child spoiled food. Never. You are a mother. You stand in an office of nurturing life, of giving life. You see, you are a woman who has given childbirth. But to be a mother, there is a milk of human kindness that won't destroy the next generation. That will make you sacrifice. The bond between a mother and her seed makes her identify with the feelings of infirmity. When you have carried a child for 9 months, and you have gone through all the various stages of life in carrying that child, and you produce that child, that motherly function begins to well up within you. It creates a bond that will never let the child be destroyed. It won't let the child go. One of the amazing things is to find a child maybe a mother whose child is deaf and dumb. Usually the men will run away. Whose child is autistic. Usually the men can't stand it. Whose child is maybe a cripple. But you find out that the mother has some bonding with the child. Says that it doesn't matter, she's my child. I won't let her go. My child may not be the best compared to other people's children, but there is a bonding between us that endears me to that product. And I have a friend whose child is autistic. And to see the mother and the child, wow, that is motherhood. That is motherhood. And those are the people we celebrate, who will never let go. I mean, when the child is sick, the mother will take the child and rush to the hospital and stay there days and nights. I told you when I was 13 years old. 13 years old. My mother carried me on her back from Osu to Nyaniba because I couldn't walk. She put aside her shame. She tied me on her backside and carried me through traffic. And everybody was looking at this woman who was... And I knew, when I asked myself, can I even carry my 13-year-old child from here to the gate? It's as if the mother's back is made of steel. Those are the mothers we are celebrating. Those are the mothers we talk about. The life of sacrifice, inconvenience. They put away the shame. I remember those times maybe your nose will be blocked and then maybe Selassie or Andrew's nose will be blocked. And then Mansa will take her mouth, put it on Andrew's nose and suck the phlegm out. And I was like, aish. Somebody say, thank God for mothers. Mother Teresa. She founded the Missionaries of Charity, a Roman Catholic religious organization. In 2012, it consisted of over 4,500 sisters in 133 countries. They ran hospices and homes for people with HIV/AIDS, leprosy, tuberculosis. They organized soup kitchens, children and family counseling programs, orphanages and schools. Yet she herself didn't have one child because of that thing called mothers. She's raised up. She's raised up. You know, today when we talk about Michael Essien, it's like everybody says, oh, Michael Essien, Michael Essien. But you should have seen when the mother didn't let go. When we talk of Sule Muntari, oh, Sule Muntari. But you should have seen when the mother didn't let go. Asamoah, when the mother didn't let go. Kings will come out of her. Princes will come out of her. We must not let our children perish. We must not let our children be on the streets without any guidance. Because the mothers will give life and rise up again. Take the example of Jesus Christ. The mother called Mary. She was carrying seed, but she was in pain and bitterness. Everybody was talking about her. It's amazing, eh? Sometimes you see a mother who is pregnant. Somebody has made a woman pregnant, and everybody's insulting the woman. But the woman doesn't abort. She carries the baby through the pain and the bitterness and the rejection, and the man is even denying that he has made her pregnant. And the woman is still carrying the pregnancy in the midst of all this pain and anguish. And she'll deliver the child. It's because she won't let go. She will not let go. She will go through the pain. She'll go through the anguish. She'll go through the rejection, the insults. Maybe she's even been raped. She won't let go. And she'll produce a child who she will, there's no father, there's no uncle, nobody, but she'll say that this is my child. And single-handedly, she will raise that child to become a hero. That is why sometimes when we grow up, we look back and we cherish our mothers. Because when we look back and we see that we could have been aborted, we could have been thrown on the streets, we could have been forsaken by an illiterate mother who had to sell donuts or granuts. How much profit would you make? Or sell tea and sugar? Or do things that are indescribable and take us through school. We've got to celebrate them. But in celebrating them, they become an example for us not to also give up. Because it doesn't matter what you are going through today. You can also produce kings. That blessing is upon you. The highest blessing of a mother.
For I want